Spit on your lips, but we're all friends here. Get closer and we'll all be able to hear you just fine.
Just thinking about eating your spit on their lips.
She's very familiar with it.
Bubble up. Oh no, I thought
Sharing the love.
yes, really. I was going to do down to here. All right.
Here's Tony.
Yoo-hoo. Da-da, da-da. Okay. We're going to get right back into this, and we're going to hear next from Rhonda Grace. Rhonda, come on up. Woo-hoo, Rhonda. Let's hear it.
Am I close enough?
It's kind of sultry. Say that again.
Kiss it, baby.
Kiss it, baby. Kiss her back.
Thank you, Rhonda.
Pardon me?
I would left a little bit.
Okay, I have two short ones. And this first one is actually written to one of the prompts from last month. And it's in the poem, and it's a short one. It's called Mystery of Time. I eat the mystery of time, jump into her as if she were a deep pool. I eat your thoughts out of your mind, smile into your eyes. The afternoon is a big house sprung with minutes. This moment, right now, I'm here with you. And the next one is written about a leaf that was caught in a branch that had not made it to the ground. It's called Turning of Seasons, Caught Before Its Time, Suspended in Air for a Moment's Breath. Thank you.
Is that good now?
Yeah.
All right.
I'll try to work around everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you for your patience.
We're going to hear next from Bruce Hall. Bruce, come on up.
Okay, I'll start off with one of mine. I wasn't going to read this, but Tony's thing made me think of it. Hands swollen from hours of pulling weeds from the belt. Brown. The digger is brown. Teeth are brown. The sea of brown. The trucks are brown. The potatoes are brown. Labor, laborer, still, migrant, running, walking, riding, the machine, staying put. 8 lifetimes in these fields, in 2 months' work. The chain breaks, everything stops except the cloud of brown. Have you been delivered? The semi-brown man jumps off the tractor and grabs a new piece of chain. The old is pried out, the new is put in. The old brown cloud moves east, propelled by pending rain. Before it clears the field, the tractor jerks. New brown explodes. Your lungs are brown, you cough brown, the shower runs brown. Green in the pocket, put your swollen hand in to see, only brown. And I'm always taking notes here, so since this is an anniversary, here are some lines from Ghost Town Poetry. You may recognize yours. Sugar-coated Satan sandwich. Essence of existence. 31st Mon Ami Poetry Town reading, 7:15. Randy rudeness of rutting elk. Shawl of plumage. Insignificant other. Your presence matters. The power of a smile. Bear witness to cruelty. Barbarians. June 23rd to 27th, special needs kids ride a bike. The scientists are coming to gather. They won't pray. Shadow of the gamma rays. Mechanical pencils and slide rules. Procedures. Get with it. No messing around. Are the five senses the only senses? Revenge. Why do we think we need it? When your mind is full of stains, his brain didn't work like yours and mine. How high to climb to get free? Spectral eyes. Lift your... lift you from the iron seat. The lies tasted goodbye. Whiskey grin. I'd flow on. I already matched the dance. The hillside twisted. It's hard to die. Legendary yellow empire. Tears torrential. Cloak of clouds. These bloody arms. Face paint from someone else's path. I was still a bastard. The promise hasn't been rained on yet. All alone, empty of our spirit. Starving artist. This is legit. And the last one here is by Marie E. Evans. It's called The Rebel. When I die, I'm sure I will have a big funeral. Curiosity seekers coming to see if I am really dead or just trying to make trouble.
Our next reader tonight is David Nelson.
I love you, David.
I love you too, Chris.
I just wanted to say that.
Embrace difference. Different ideas embrace. Distrust breeds ignorance. Embrace contradictions. Disagreeing and agreeing embrace. Disagreement breeds the lovers and the wise. You can't know who someone is through gossip. You can't understand a poem by interpreting it how you like. Distance yourself from rejection and accept everyone's different. I don't want to say things to entertain. I don't want to say things to pander to the crowd. Dismember every simple claim to truth, for the truth's complex. We are complex. We are not what they said. Disown all prejudice. Now, I wrote a poem a while back, and these are 3 lines from that poem. Prose is the finger pointing at the moon. Poetry is not the moon. Perhaps it is the space between the finger and the moon. Jim Martin wrote a response to that, which is pretty great. Finger points, target silver, in black winter sky, pointed with meaning, vision expressed in juxtaposition. Between pointing finger and light, our spirit, expression, eternity of the human soul. Finger, vision, momentary realities. Spirit resides in what they do not encompass. And I wanted to respond in some way to this theme. And I wrote a piece and then I didn't like it, and And then I wrote another piece, but this is really not a complete piece. I think it's a part of an ongoing thing. This is a prose poem, and it's epistolary. It's in the form of a letter. It's called Unsplit and Split to Moon. To Moon. How's it going? As for me, I want to moon more ponderously, I think, more carefully, but also more ninja-like. Instead, I've gone off on various tangents to moon sort of wishy-washily, and in fact to moon largely by mistake, which is okay. Let me give an example. As I'd gone to moon ponderously through the streets after dusk, through the park and across abandoned parking lots, I had by chance turned my face to moon you, moon. I was only trying to moon without object, my eyes to moon like moonfish over houses, roofs, trees, bats, difficult to see but quite simple to moon, I guess. Anyway, I wasn't trying to moon the way that kids do by pulling down their pants and showing their asses. Of course, to moon in this manner has its place, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't what I'd intended, especially not for you, and especially not by mooning with my face, by literally facing you. So for you to moon back was only natural as my own moon. You're the moon, after all. You're always mooning. And every single place on Earth that stands with nothing between itself and your light moons right back. No matter how much you spin and dance as if trying to moon right out of orbit and out of view forever, like asteroids mooning from the inner planets all the way out to the Oort cloud and back in elliptical rosettes, you just keep mooning about the Earth. Ultimately, I suppose that for me to moon is also something like this, so it was only natural that when I turned to moon you, you were turning toward me, to moon me right back. Because as much as you try to moon away from the Earth tries to moon away from you just as quick, and I'm stuck mooning too. Anyway, with such reflective mooning about, don't forget to recount to me your own moons. It's always nice to hear those moony moons. I guess it's true what they moon. In the end, it's all simply a reflexive mooning of moon self. So with that in mind, to moon, I always will. To moon for you, to moon for me, I always will. Sincerely, Moon. And just to recover from that, I'm going to read a poem by Lorraine Niedecker. You see here the influence of inference. Moon on rippled stream. Except as and unless. Thank you.
I want to thank Rainy Knight and Diane Kammer for bringing cookies tonight, and also to Mel, as always, for putting out treats and water and all of those things for us. So let's just thank them. We're going to hear next from Doug Westberg. Come on up.
Howdy. There's your limerick of the day from Papa Doug's Light Book of Little Verse. There once was a frat boy named Herman who sported a coat made of ermine. When asked why prefer this particular fur, he responded, "The beavers kept squirming." Thank you very much. Just in the nick of time. Okay, I wrote a villanelle about 15 years ago, and it took me about 12 years to write another one, and another couple of years to write a third one, and I still haven't topped the first one. But I made them into a series, and I call them Villanelle, Villain -ELLE, and they're all about my dad, who left us. So here's the first one that I wrote way back in the day. I don't know who I'll be from day to day, a world beater or a hapless lamb, I always feel like this when I'm this way. I limit my remarks to pleasantries, for fear you'll find out who I really am. I don't know who I'll be from day to day. I smile on cue, take pains to meet your gaze, the better to perpetuate the scam. I always feel like this when I'm this way. I must be good, else I incur the lash, thus my authentic self becomes a sham. I don't know who I'll be from day to day. Despite my pains, the lash comes anyway. He tells me I should take it like a man. I always feel like this when I'm this way. There is no there, Gertrude Stein would say. I'm loved for what I do, not who I am. I don't know who I'll be from day to day. I always feel like this when I'm this way. Villanelle 2. We used to let you cry yourself to sleep, my father with a little chuckle said. It felt like being buried 6 feet deep. The child inside me is not allowed to weep. It lays inside a coffin in my head. You used to let me cry myself to sleep. Encased in blackness, sobbing in a heap, I can't perceive the world outside my bed. It feels like being buried 6 feet deep. You brat, I told you not another peep. Don't let me catch you getting out of bed. I don't care if you cry yourself to sleep. And if I die before I wake from sleep, I pray the Lord my soul to take, you said, as though I might be buried 6 feet deep. This sinkhole in my heart is mine to keep and pass on to my children when I'm dead. You used to let me cry myself to sleep, tucked underneath the covers, 6 feet deep. Villanelle 3. To love my father is to have no share, to serve and walk on eggshells, in a word, to rub witch hazel in the devil's hair. My father needs 24-hour care. His mind, his daddy long-legged legs, absurd. To love my father is to have no share. My sister wonders if we visit there, if we could find his shoes, and oh, he'd be sure love us to rub witch hazel in his hair. I crave to kill the hate that I inherit from his belt, his Christian character. To love my father is to have no share. Though half the time his is a vacant stare, he still spits venom like a wounded cur, rubbing witch hazel in the devil's hair. My mother is devoted to his care. I cannot free her from her sinecure. To love my father is to have no share, to rub witch hazel in the devil's hair. Thank you very much. I'd like to finish with another one from back in the day of my first chapbook, back around the turn of the millennium. This is called The Reckoning, and it's dedicated to my cat, Serafina, who just passed away a few days ago. The plastic sack tantalizes on the sofa. Its open mouth, the entrance to a shimmering white cave. It shines like a mermaid on a rocky spit, calling to me. I touch it with my paw. It speaks to me in a crackling language only cats can understand. I poke my head in. The handle wraps around my neck. I pull back, but the sack comes with me. I tear around the room like a shot. The sack flaps behind my ear like the wings of a falcon. The faster I run, the louder it gets. I zigzag furiously, but I cannot shake it. Its talons will sink into my flesh any second. This has been going on for years. My weight is down to 1.5 pounds. Suddenly, my master tackles me and extricates me from the noose, petting me and cooing. It's been 3 months now since the last time I, as they say in the program, crawled into a bottle. They tell me I will be a cat for the rest of my life. Thank you very much.
So if you never understood or appreciated why Mel doesn't make drinks during the reading, you probably do now. So I want to thank Mel for 8 years of not making drinks while poets were trying to read. I've done it before. It's happened to me at a featured reading that I had at a chain bookstore. Not all the chain bookstores put their poetry readings right next to the coffee machine, but if that happens to be the situation, business does not, they don't stop at the chain bookstore. So just another reason to support your local bookstore, that they actually think about the humans who are coming in and think about the poets. Yeah, don't get me started with the whole poets versus chain bookstores thing. If I had the time or the patience to blog, I'd probably be blogging about that. Next we're going to hear from Madeline Martin. Welcome.
Hello. So these poems are older, and I don't really like them anymore, but just gonna go ahead. Let's see. Black media. In still ink, still the whites of the eyes plead, at all depth of still's position lined up, man's dangling over black sea, with a never-ending horn, and the echo line up, just like their fathers. Occasionally there comes a moment of the blaring of the horn, when a white bird perches to a body whose eyes did spot his waving motion from afar. What can only a bird do? I'm very shy, but sometimes anyway. Right now I am. Okay. The life weather brings. I can feel my spirit turn inside my skin. All the people who are a part of my day-to-day life come to my mind, like the sun peering behind clouds, casting its rays onto treetops. Night is falling upon my head. I stand alone. The temperament of the night recommends I fall into my bed. The sound of the wind migrates into my dreams, rocking my soul. Tomorrow brings a new temperament. Today, the feeling of future lies in my recognition of my unyielding presence and standing I am a part of. Okay. Near and far. You can hear the birds chirping, come out to play. In the distance, you can hear the lawnmower mowing on a sunny day. And my heart beats to layers of sunflow. You can hear, even we, its call for miles solo. And this last poem, my mother, she wrote, and I never knew her to be a poet or that she would, anyway, I think she wrote it in a class, and she did a lovely job, and I like it, and so I want to share it with you. The joy of life, a woman. She is elegant, gentle, kind. She is warm, brilliant, full of potential. Her humbleness is her charm. She may walk through difficulties which no man knew she had, and her days are generous. Her heart is happy and glad. Many love her, many will always glow from the touch of her surroundings, glistening as snow. She is wisdom, she is winter, she is the feed to her flock. She is the mother to many, has taken time to teach and to walk. Glad is the heart who find even a small time of her stay. For she can be the wink of happiness in a sad man's day. Great, thank you.
Thank you, Madeline. I have to admit that I'm not 100% sure. I'm having trouble reading the next one, so I may butcher it first and then we'll get it right, okay? Is there someone out there whose name is something like Varder or Varden? Does that sound familiar? Is there anyone out there whose name starts with V? That part I'm sure about. No? Okay, maybe the person left during the break. I apologize. Yeah, they vamoosed, right. If anyone thinks that they signed up and maybe I just really destroyed their name, come and take a look at the list while I'm standing back there. So that means that the next person on the list is Diane Kammer. And since she doesn't seem quite ready, I'm going to tell you that Diane is among those people who I was mentioning earlier who I first met either at the library or at the bookstore, not sure, but around that same time when I was new to town, and I'm really grateful for her and grateful for her continued participation in this community. Is that enough vamping for you? Do you think you're ready? Okay, here she is, everybody, Diane Kammer.
So I thought I'd actually read one of, there we go, two older poems that I have. This one's a, here we go. This one is for Thanksgiving. Folded history. Crocheted lace, grandmother beige, spider's web strong yet delicate, spun through fingers rough and gnarled as the roots beneath an elegant rose. She gave us this cloth, a place to rest elbows when hands are joined in prayer. We feel the pattern pressed beneath our skin, see it, or just under our skin, see it through closed eyes on this day as it was last year and so many years before. One piece of a generation, history caught in knots and love-filled loops crafted by a woman who kissed the cheek of my mother before she spoke her first words of thanks. I wash by hand this chain that binds our hearts, a reminder of days when life passed as slowly as one knot at a time. Okay, and I've been working at Covington Middle School, and so in order to get there, I go past an old feed store that's there, and it's so cool. I mean, they have the new one there, and everything's modern, but the old one, I'm guessing was a train station, or maybe so partially as a train station. So, where I grew up, we had an old train station that when I got to know it, it was already in bad shape. But as kids, we would sneak inside and just kind of check it out. There were a few things left in there. So these tales and broken windows. No one sees the old train station, beige and dim like a tattered ghost, hiding between road and rail, lost in the familiar and obsolete. The floors creak under soft footfalls, coughing up dust from decayed ribcage, fractured bones from another time, barely holding the thin skin of boards. An old piano sits in the corner, its chipped keys and call for curved fingers, and in the wind, a harmony of voices search for notes misplaced in memory. The bench is gone, broken years ago, when crabgrass and dandelions didn't grow thick among railroad ties, black with tar, and steel rails shone like mirrors, hot with life. Patches of sky create open doors in the roof, a welcome to birds that nest among the eaves, descendants of sparrows whose songs were once hidden by the whistle of steam. Jagged glass in a window lacerates the view, a platform smooth as a goodbye kiss, where phantom baggage cloaks faded footprints, waiting for a place beyond the station.
Thanks, Diane. And I have done a very fun August postcard poetry thing before, but Diane has really been doing it consistently for quite some time. So if you just want to know sort of what's going on there, or just want to hear about how much fun it is, I would ask Diane about it. Yeah. I wanted to mention, I wanted to make a couple of quick announcements, and one of them is that one of the things that I do for the community is to let people know about poetry events that are happening in Portland and Vancouver. So I have a clipboard where you can give me your email address if you'd like to be on that list. I'm leaving it on the table where we would usually have the featured readers' books, and since our feature couldn't be with us tonight, there are flyers for next month's reading and other things, small press, postcards over there. So if you'd like to get that, I only send out once a month because, probably like you, I'm on enough lists already. So because I'm only sending it out once a month, and we live in an area where there's a lot of stuff going on, it's a pretty long email, but I really try to send it out just once a month. And then realizing that there's so much stuff that I was missing things and there were other things going on that people should know about, I started a Facebook group called PNW Poets for Pacific Northwest. And so that's for poets in Washington and Oregon State, and everybody, you don't have to be a friend of mine, you just have to request to be part of the group. We add you to the group, and then you can list your own events, talk about, brag when you've been published, or let us know about submission calls or workshops that are going on. So anyway, I'm going to put this back there. We're going to get back into it. And the other announcement is, we've had a few times over the last few months, a pretty fun writer. His name is Rob Kitsuno. He's a newer friend of mine. He is a Japanese American who has written a lot about his wife to a woman who is Brazilian. So it's a lot of very funny material about sort of the cross-cultural marriage. And he's written more than just what he's shared here, because he's been very sensitive to the idea that we've got 20 people on the list. He's written a whole one-man show, and that relationship I was talking about with Leah Jackson, we found she's allowing us to have him present that one-man show there, and it's going to be directed by someone from Portland Playhouse. So if that gives you any idea about sort of the quality of the longer work, he has a very good relationship with them, and I think it'll be worth your time, and that's going to happen on Monday, December 1st. So if you remember Rob and you want to check that out, come by for that. And if you don't remember Rob, you can take a look at one of Tiffany's videos on YouTube of the old Ghost Town meetings. He's been here 2 or 3 times. Angst Gallery is on Main Street, right next to the Kiggins Theater. Okay, so next we are going to hear from Holly. You ready, Holly? Yes, welcome, Holly back.
Can I have a tall mocha for somebody? And then yeah, that's you. You're the breve, right? Oh, okay.
I wrote this poem in honor of 2 trees just outside my house. One of them has been sacrificed to the new sewer they're putting in. Autumn leaving. Shy trees do a slow strip tease, embarrassed to display what has nestled in their summer crotches. Impetuous trees throw their leaves to the winds, deliriously deciduous. Some only tint their tips and remain green at heart. Impertinent aliens display maroon, scarlet, ochre, amber. The native maple rusts in the rain, and the staid conifers look on stoically.
Next we're going to hear from a poet who has been here before, and I really enjoy, a man with a powerful voice who recently has been touring, I think Olympia, Where are some of the other places that you went?
Corvallis, Olympia, I'm going to Seattle in January.
Yeah, and I mean, this is one of the really interesting things that can happen if you dive headfirst into the poet's life, all the places that you end up in, the people you get to meet. So, yeah, let's just please welcome Nathan Tompkins.
Yeah, like I said, I'm featuring at the Seattle Poetry Slam on the 6th of January. And last month I was in Olympia to do a reading, and that same day I got the word that this poem called The Supermoon was published in a magazine called Northwest Words, which is based out of the Republic of Ireland. The moon danced a summer reel with Perseus beneath the ballroom starlights as his meteorite shoes sparked across the night sky floor. Her full white face, crater lips smiled, sang to the tune of the August pipers as they fingered tree-limbed chanters, squeezed green leaf bellows. Together they swung close to the earth as she whispered her heart to his ears, felt his lips with hers, and I knew she found another. And together they would sleep with the sun rise, together they would wake with the sun set. Wrote this several months ago. This is since this month was, of course, Veterans Day, and there are quite a few veterans who fought in this country since even before it was a country that I am related to. So it's called When a Loved One Goes to War. When a loved one goes to war, you hold them, clutch to yourself, afraid to let go, afraid they will vanish, afraid you'll never see them again. When you hear of an overseas death, you worry, fear the knock on your door, fear the bugle will sing, the rifle shot salute, the drum beat that shakes Tap's fingered breath. And when they call or email to you say that they are okay, that they were just on patrol, you sit down, smile at the walls, and you know the day is closer when they will be home. Then you realize another received a uniform visit at their front door. Another sees the ghost of their fallen everywhere, the shadowed imprint on their favorite chair or couch, the light footstep upon hardwood floors, the wind's laughter among the chimes outside. And then the shame sets in, the clenched gut, the strained spinal cord frozen down the length of your back, the unspoken words balled up between two cupped hands placed on the back of the shoulders to mimic Atlas's ancient burden. And when a loved one comes home, you scream, shout as you thrust yourself into their arms, pick them up, touch their lips, whisper in their ears, hold them to you, fearing to let go, fearing they will vanish, fearing you will never see them again if you let go. I was given a prompt to write something out of Bullfinch's mythology, the first one, and I wrote 3 of them. This is one of them, called The Phoenix. Interwoven oak branches scrape against the skin. Lie in the dark, listen to the depressed raindrops bounce from barren tree limbs. Lie in the dark, feel like dying. Sunlight lamps shut off, sleep in the day or is it in the night? Lie in the dark, not caring. Heart pain burns, spreads, weep, hairs wilt in heat. Lie in the dark, skin set afire. Burn away the tears on the edge of the eyes. Burn away the metric time on the chest. Burn away the ice grips along the spine. Burn away the agony. Burn away the dark. Open the dust-painted blinds, let the sun stretch fingers inside, rise repaired, hearts sewn together. Turn the doorknob, walk out, feel mud percolate between naked toes. Rise, revive, kiss Arctic air currents. Wash feet in dew-tipped grass. Stretch arms to embrace the sunlight. Rise, restored, sing with the wind. Listen to the rooster crow. Welcome back to the living. Walk to the dawn's gold-red temple. Rise, reborn. Nice. To my future partner, whoever you may be, I've never seen your smile, nor have I heard your laugh, nor have I tasted your tears, healed the broken waters as you wept beside me, when like a sin eater, I absorbed your pain and took it for my own. And I don't know how the sun looks when filtered through the stray strands of your hair, whether it be the twilight sun burning through the black silk fibers, or the orange flames of a dawn sky, or the auric glow of the midday. Nor do I know the star sign embedded in your nighttime eyes. Nor have I felt your hand as you clutched mine, palms stitched together in interwoven joints. Nor have I smelt your breath as your lips pressed into mine, and nor have I listened to your gasp sing as I plucked your eager strings with the tip of my tongue or the dampened fingertips. But I love you just the same. Sláinte, thank you.
Yeah, Nathan's among those loyal Portlanders who try to make it a point to make it to Ghost Town Poetry. It took us about, I don't know, somewhere between 6 and 8 years to get people to come across the big scary I-5 bridge on a regular basis. So we're grateful for each one of them. You know, I didn't think it would be that hard, but it was. Next, we're going to hear from yet another person who was here as I was finding my footing and trying to figure out where the poetry community was here in Vancouver. So happy to still know her. So happy she's still writing. Robin Moore.
I don't know if anybody follows the news or watches the news, but there's that group ISIS in the Middle East that's raising havoc. And I wondered if anybody else thought about the irony of the name ISIS for this male kind of fascist group of people. Because ISIS was an Egyptian goddess. Okay, so my first poem is a political poem. Statistic. In Gaza, over half the population is under the age of 14. Not enough food, not enough jobs, not enough land, never enough. Give the have-nots a gun, and their anger will propel the bullets. Cycle of kill and be killed will persist until the world cries enough, and those without have enough pain to fill their belly. I have a hard time titling poems, so this one I actually had a title before the poem. It's called Technological Advances. I am woolly mammoth, confused by changes, too warm in my wool coat, searching for food when the cataclysm comes. I am American Indian, not understanding pale faces, greed, their lies, the deception, the destruction of my world. I am John Henry, rage at the bosses, rage at a steam drill, driving a steel spike into my heart. I am every old way protesting a new way, like a cavalry horse charging forth, only to be mowed down by a machine gun.